The Inflation Reduction Act is the largest climate bill to ever pass the Senate. While it is still not a law yet, as it has to pass the House and be signed into law by the president, it is extremely likely that this will happen, since both of those are Democrat-controlled. While this bill is the most action the federal government has ever taken against climate change, it is also the only significant action they have taken. This bill has plenty of great qualities, but also some detrimental ones. In this video, I hope to explain the great qualities of this bill and the terrible ones. So, firstly, what are the good parts of this bill? Energy experts claim it would reduce U.S. emissions to 40% below 2005 levels by 2030. The deal allocates $369 billion over 10 years for climate and emergency measures. I'll break this down in a second, but first I wanted to say that the military gets $800 billion per year. This means that annually, the budget allocated to climate action in this bill is 4.6% of what the military gets every year. The budget shows the priorities of the government. Now, on to how this money will be spent. $60 billion will be allotted for projects benefiting disadvantaged communities that bear the brunt of the impacts. This can help fight for climate justice, but it isn't nearly enough. There's already so much injustice in our society, and the provisions in this bill that help the fossil fuel industry only worsen this injustice. But more on those parts later. This $60 billion for climate justice includes $27 billion for the creation of the first national green bank to help stimulate investments into clean energy. This bill allocates $20 billion to cut agricultural emissions, $5 billion for forest conservation and restoration, $500 million in tax credits for heat pumps in critical minerals processing, and $30 billion for new wind, solar, and other clean energy projects. These are all great, but I want to point something out in the last one, the $30 billion in tax credits for new clean energy projects. Some of the clean energy projects that would be helped by this bill are hydrogen and carbon capture. While these technologies are worth pursuing, they are currently being pursued almost exclusively by the fossil fuel industry for greenwashing purposes. So this provision actually helps the fossil fuel industry as well as clean energy projects. Back to the benefits. This bill also includes a fee on methane leaks over federal limits, starting at $900 per ton and later rising to $1,500 per ton. This bill also makes it easier to approve new energy projects. This makes it easier for new clean energy projects to be approved, but also new fossil fuel projects. As you have seen, some of these benefits have a sour aftertaste. There are a couple of other things that I skipped over, and I simplified a lot of that, so I encourage you to do more research. But you get the gist. This bill does a lot of very beneficial things. Now, on to the bad stuff. Firstly, it's not good when the fossil fuel industry likes a climate bill. Many oil companies have been pleased with the bill, and last week, Exxon's CEO publicly spoke out for the bill. This is because this bill has some major positives for the oil industry. Firstly, as I said earlier, these companies can take advantage of some of the tax credits and invest in new technologies to further greenwash their operations. This is trivial compared with another part of the bill. This bill forces the Department of the Interior to lease at least 2 million acres of public lands onshore, which is around the size of Yellowstone National Park, and 600 million acres of waters offshore for fossil fuel extraction. This locks in oil development and profits for years to come and continues the fossil fuel expansion. This bill also opens up more pipelines like the Mountain Valley Pipeline, further investing in fossil fuels. This is not the time to be expanding fossil fuel projects. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change declared earlier this year that there can be no new fossil fuel developments if we want to stay below 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming. And the International Energy Agency declared that there can be no further expansion of fossil fuel infrastructure if we hope to meet the targets set by the Paris Climate Accords. Basically, to stop climate change, we need to stop burning fossil fuels. That is the only answer. If passed, this bill would be the best the United States has ever done on climate change, and it contains a lot of great measures. Sadly, this is not the bill we needed. This would have been fine 20 years ago, but we waited too long to take action. We're in emergency mode now, and we need some stronger bills if we want to start seeing some meaningful change. If we want to get these stronger bills, we have to start fighting a lot harder. So protest, vote in midterms, and spread the word so we can build a larger movement. One more thing. I focused a lot on the climate aspects of this bill, but it does a lot of other stuff too. I encourage you to do more research on it, but in summary, it's just like the climate part of the bill. It does a lot of great things, but not nearly enough.